In life, we have many setbacks. Things don't go our way, we feel limited, restricted, or we feel that we should have obeyed limits and restrictions. Somehow we're off balance. But consider that those imbalances and those setbacks may move us to humbly appreciate not knowing and make this moment about this moment. Right? Because if there's a setback, that's when we notice we're not making this moment about this moment. If things are going our way, and we're holding on to it, we're attached to keeping it that way, then we're still not making this moment about this moment, but we don't care because things are going away. Or we're worried things are going to stop going away. But the setback, it's really felt, we feel a little bit of despair and loss, then we're more open and more inspired to make this moment about this moment. And the reason we want to appreciate not knowing is because if we knew, life would be very boring. Now, each setback may also move us or inspire us to unconditional self-acceptance. Because again, if we're meeting conditions, then we're accepting ourselves based on conditions. When we're focusing on how am I going to find acceptance through conditions, then we're rejecting that setback. But the setback is a teacher. The obstacle is the way, as Rarely said. Humbly appreciate not knowing, making this moment about this moment, and unconditionally self-acceptance, or also known as unconditional positive self-regard. So we make this moment about this moment. Yes, then we're at peace. No, then we can apply unconditional self-acceptance, USA, for the judging, resisting, and seeking control, any non-acceptance, any imbalance, and the lack of having thanks and new PSI. And we ask ourselves, what is blocking making this moment about this moment? So if the inner critic, negative adaptive child, negative free child, negative controlling parent, negative nurturing parent, is operating out of fear and desire around power, control, justifications, accusations, being judged as weak or bad, it's trying to remove your confusion and come up with how to get conditional love or explain why you lost it. So rather than suppressing, agreeing, or disagreeing, we say, yes, how is that helpful? You may watch. We can imagine watching the inner critic slink back as if it has no answer. Each time we're open to see if the inner critic has a rationale for why that criticism is helpful. It's always possible. And we consider that bad events are grist for the mill, serving higher purpose. So the left side of this graph, unconditional self-acceptance, unconditional positive self-regard. The level of peace, if thoughts casting the Karpman drama triangle and saying that other people or your own superego is disapproving, rejecting, judging, ready to punish. So the more self-acceptance you have, the more peace you have, even if you have those thoughts. This is from an earlier presentation, vows of chastity, poverty, and obedience. There's a desire to be desired, or quench a desire for a form. That's the vow of chastity. So if we want to violate that, then it shows that you aren't following the three parts of the obedience vow. Same if you're focusing on how your value is increased or decreased by having money, or the needs for money being put above other things. So again, allowing confusion, or I should say appreciating confusion, appreciating not knowing, making this moment about this moment, and unconditional positive self-regard. And then this is how it charts out. And the thing that we changed on this chart from the summary is that we're going to humbly appreciate not knowing. Earlier we talked about accepting not knowing, but really appreciate it, because if you knew everything, life would be intolerable. Mystery is making what life possible, even if it's causing thoughts that we're striving to figure things out, predict, and plan. So we have to call, spring, dawn, humbly appreciate not knowing. Then that means we can make this moment about this moment. And then we have unconditional positive self-regard at the return, the dawn, the dusk, sunset. And then we lose ourselves, enter the bardo. And then to return again, we lose our divine unity. And these are charts from the other presentation. You can look at that presentation. I'll link them together. The idea is if you're okay being clueless, you humbly accept, appreciate not knowing, and you're fully present. You're making this moment about this moment, and you're feeling good about yourself, the self, with unconditional positive self-regard, or USA. Then happiness eludes if we fail to do those things, and we need a reason to feel good about ourselves. But until one is ready, still, and has faith, there is resistance to seeing the self as an illusion. Our role, if any, is not to see the self as an illusion. Unlike what you're getting from spiritual teachers, that's not something you can force to happen. It's having compassion for our delusion of seeing the self as something that's real. So thoughts to dispel confusion and uncertainty at the call, if they come, then we're having some challenge. And then we know what's going on. We want to return to thank. If we have thoughts about the future, then we realize we're not making this moment about this moment. And if we have thoughts about conditional value, in other words, our value based on conditions, whether it's good or bad, we're based on conditions, then that means we want to summon good feelings and have unconditional positive self-regard and unconditional self-acceptance, USA. These thoughts are invitations to move into one of these three circles, and then if we have an overlap, we're fully present and we're okay being clueless, we appreciate not knowing that we're ready. Right? And we're ready, we're present, we're not needing to figure things out, how they went or how they will go. And then we're still. We have an overlap between fully present and feeling good about ourselves. Finally be still, because if we're trying to feel good about ourselves, we're not going to make this moment about this moment. We're going to be chasing conditions or blaming conditions. And then the faith is the overlap between feeling good about yourself and being okay that you don't know. Then you can have faith. Because if you have faith, then you feel good about yourself and about the world as a projection, but you're okay that in fact you don't know anything. You've seen these charts before, so you can refer to the other video for that. Again, final thought. The problem isn't the problem is the attitude about the problem. What is the attitude about the setback? If our attitude about the setback is it's pointing us to humbly appreciate not knowing, right? Because if we knew everything, we wouldn't have setbacks. If the attitude about the setback is to move us to making this moment about this moment, setback is our teacher. If our attitude about the setback is to summon unconditional self-love, the setback is not a problem. Right? So the attitude can be, yes, I'm making this moment about this moment. Often, if not always, it's going to be no. And then again, that's our invitation. That's our attitude about the fact that we didn't make this moment about this moment. We summon the ideal parent figure, the IPF. And then we ask ourselves, what's blocking me from making this moment about this moment? And often that means we'll stop doing whatever we're doing.